So it seems that I will never tire of looking at the weird, wacky and wonderful ways that you play Football Manager 2024. So yeah, I'm back again with once more of your FM24 saves, and these are just great. They're really good. Come on. We start today with Rob's journeyman save, starting with an unemployed journeyman, but with a little twist which caught my eye, hence why I've chosen it. That is Rob White here, look, and if we go to his job history, he has started his career way back here in the Romanian second league, because his saves that he does every single year, you have to win a league title in a country and then he can move on to the next one. But the way that he dictates where he moves in his save is that he follows his initials rather than anything else, which just caught my eye. It's a different way of playing the game. He says it forces him into going to different countries and playing in different leagues, and really does keep it varied, because he starts in Romania, which is the R from Rob. He then moves to Germany at Karlsruhe. So G, I suppose, must be one of his middle names. He's actually got either a lot of names here. I'm not quite sure how the initials are working here. Maybe he finished his name and then he's moved on to whatever he wants to do. But it goes R, then G. Then he goes to the Chinese Super League, where he goes to Guangzhou. So RGC. And then he goes to Wales, which I assume is the W in white. And then I don't know what happens after this, because then he goes to the Netherlands. So I don't know if he starts going on to somebody else's name. Maybe it becomes a free-for-all at this stage. But as you can see, it just creates a really varied, different save. So Romania, Germany, China, Wales, and then now into the Netherlands, where he's had a really successful career. If we go to his overview of his history here, look, 7 club jobs, 300 games played, 201, and a very nice number of cups in there. 5 cup wins at his NAC Breda so far. 10 cup wins in title, 7 league wins so far. And I just think it makes for a really fun save. At the moment with the save, where are we at the situation right now? We are in the Eredivisie. After 15 games in, can reclaim top spot if you win that game in hand, which is against Heerenveen. Go above PSV. Where are Ajax? Way down in 7th. Look, they're struggling a little bit in 2042. Do you say anything else about the team or your journey? Of course, with this, as we always do in these videos, I get you guys to submit your saves. There is a link to that subscription page. It's a Google form where you can put your save file and also write me a brief description of what's going on in your saves, and then we might make more of these. You guys seem to enjoy them, and I love looking at your stuff. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things. It's so intriguing the way that you guys play this game, and I never thought of doing a save where you follow your initials to dictate which country you go to next. Anyway, Rob says this about his save. He says he starts with no badges. You have to win the league and then move on to the next league. So starting with Romania, you won the league and then got a club tycoon takeover, which is his first ever in 30 years of playing Championship Manager or Football Manager. I want to go back to that actually and have a look at if we go to job history, the Romanian, I suppose it's CSM Rosita, they've got secure finances now, which might be all right for Romania actually. So maybe they've actually, in fact, how much money did you spend if we go all the way back to the first couple of seasons? £0 first season, 0-0. I mean, 2.1 million. Maybe that was the point where you've got the takeover, which is quite a lot maybe in that Romanian leagues. After that, you say Germany moving to start in Division 3, eventually moving to Leipzig. Created a really good team, lost 2 Champions League finals. Yikes. The save was a bit topsy-turvy. You went to China after that, had a tycoon takeover there, or a tycoon team there. Wales next with no money. So really ups and downs all over the place, which I think underlines that point of if you have different rules to follow, it really makes you do a varied save where you do things that you haven't done before. He says he does this every year. Last year he was in Hong Kong, India, Turkey. This year we've seen where he's been so far. He says at the moment his best player is Lockeen, who is an insane attacking midfielder. We'll have a look at him. Here he is. He's playing as a Trecatista. If I just put these on because I know that you guys are going to ask for this. Yeah, he's pretty good. Unpredictable attacking midfielder. He's 24, Belgian. I'd like to sign him in some of my saves, please. Yeah, he looks great. Really like the fact that his passing and his technique is so high. 17 finishing for a 10 as well. 80. Oh, yeah, he's great. Really like him. How much did he cost you? 32 million. The Anderlecht. The Anderlecht Youth Academy delivers once again. Also says, have a look at the Saudi goalkeeper Al Anezi, now at Leipzig. Best keeper he's ever seen. You know what? Because this is the first save we're looking at today, we're going to actually go and have a look at a couple of these players too. Yep. You know what? It's a no from me. And actually, it's a challenge for you. What's my reasoning? Comment section. I'm saying, look how good he is, but I'm still not signing him because, and I think you know why. If you do know why, get it in the comment section. Perfectionist personality is what he's very good, but there's a problem, and I think you know it. So put it in the comments section. And finally, he says he's now looking for a job in Italy or Israel or Iceland. So he is actually carrying on. I understand what's happened here. I don't understand the Germany unless that is because that's not an O for Rob. And then the China is a C. And then it goes to Wales to start with white. And I think this is Holland, as in the Netherlands is Holland. And then he's going to go to Italy or Israel next, look, with the I. And then there's going to be a T and then there's going to be an E. I don't quite understand the start, though, with the... We've got R for Rob. But where does the... You know what I mean? Anyway, looks like we've understood a little bit about the story that he's on. Thank you very much, Rob, for submitting this save. It's a pleasure to look at these. If you want to submit them, the form is in the description of today's video. I'll also pin it in a comment down below because I think we want to do more of these. Also, whilst you're here, I'll ask it right now. Please do subscribe to the channel. We are, as I record this, about 200 subs away from 70,000. And that makes me think we can get to 75,000. And that would be lovely, wouldn't it? So let's move through our second save of today's video. Next up, we have Ayo's save here at Barcelona, where you might be thinking of Barcelona save. What's interesting about this one was actually the finances that stood out for me that made me want to share this one with you, because he's called this save the Not Brocolona save, and it seems like a big part of the reasoning behind it and the way that the rationale behind the save is that he wants to turn a bit of a profit at the club. Now, I've put the finances on the first screen here just so that you could see that the overall balance is over £1 billion, which is like the opposite of the way that I play my saves, in that over the course of the years where he's been very successful, if I just show you in terms of his profile here, look how he's been doing. He's been at Barcelona the entire time. Job history has been Barcelona. He's been quite successful with things here, winning the league in every year except for he had a really bad year second year, only third, won manager of the month once, did win 2 trophies, the Spanish Cup and the Spanish Super Cup, but what a terrible year. The rest of the time, that's a lot of awards. Manager of the month 6 times, 4 trophies in last season. Champions League is in there. He's been successful, but I actually think the on-pitch successes it's Barcelona. I feel like that's kind of almost a given, and there's some great players, by the way. I wanted to show you actually one of the players that Ayo did point out to me, which was the striker who's actually, he's not on the pitch at the moment. Where is he? Where is he? No, there he is. He's on the bench. The legendary Ugandan striker, Rogers Taiwa, who he's 29. He's played 96 times for Uganda and scored 94 goals. And I just think he looks great. Signed from NYCFC, New York City FC, after coming from Sweden. That was a good little signing from New York City there. But however, actually, they probably could have got more money for him. Just a great career from him. And I love the fact that he's 6'3" and has these attributes. And he's 29 at this stage. So I just thought he was cool. Also, though, and I'll go back to, the main reason I love this save is because that transfer budget that we've got there. It's the finances. Right now, there is over £1 billion, which in itself, I know that loads of you would have done that and you've racked up huge amounts of money. I'm also sure lots of you have racked up huge amounts of negative money on this page here. I really like, there's like the thing where it's like West Ham, it used to always happen to, where you buy the stadium, or don't ever ask the board to buy your stadium because it just can give you crippling debt immediately because for some reason they say yes. West Ham, I think it was last year's game or the year before, you could always buy the London Stadium and then you'd be in like £1 billion worth of debt. This is the opposite. And it's because over the course of the years, if we go back through the transfer histories, our friend Ayo here has managed to turn a profit in most of those careers. This current season now, not so much of a big deal in that he's only spent 6 million because he's probably got already an amazing team. £15 million in sales though, and actually loaned out so many players, which is probably a part of this as well. Loan out the young players, develop them, sell them for a profit. He says he started the Barcelona save nothing special. He just wanted to see his club succeed once again. And at the time, Barca was signing young gems. So he's done that as his transfer strategy, but better. Most of your stars were 15 million or less. You buy players and then sell them on. He made about 2 billion in transfer profit, or winning the league almost every year, trying to go invincible, always getting FM'd against Real Madrid or a random relegation team. Welcome to Football Manager, everybody. Standout player is Ibarra. I'm actually just going to have to go and look at Ibarra because he's said he's the standout player. And then we'll have a look at that transfer history. Ibarra is Felipe Ibarra. Yeah, he's 5'7". He says he plays awful in the highlights, but always managed to get 20 plus goals and 20 plus assists. You know what? Yeah, that's a very decent goal scoring record. I'm sure that the assists back them up as well. Probably playing as like an attacking midfielder or a central midfielder. You played, was it a 4? Yeah, maybe as a central midfielder then, which is interesting. Anyway, let's go back to those transfers where we've turned a profit in most of the years. This year, spent 187 million. The most being spent was 19, look. So there's no massive signings here. But then there are probably some massive sales. 121 million for a player called Goran Batika to Manchester United. There's Per Bundgaard, he's a real player, right? No, he's not. You know, I recognise the name. He's very much a new gen there. But yeah, turning a profit on players this year as well. 165 in. The biggest signing being 18 million. 219 out. 63 million pounds. João Rego. Now, he is real. Paulo Bernardo, that must be a face in the game because I've had a Paulo Bernardo in the journeyman save. Back the season before, this is a really big one. 31 million pounds spent, 8 million the most. 276 million pounds brought in. 57 million pound the top sale in that season. Season before that, 160 something million pounds in profit that particular season. 60 million in. Big spenders here, look. Bringing in a player for 26 million. Is he still at the club? Yeah, he's the first choice goalkeeper, I imagine. Going back through, 250 million off 22.5 million. Again, this is the opposite of my saves. If you've ever watched any of my, saves either on YouTube or on Twitch, then I'm sure that you know this is the opposite. It's the opposite of the never never, isn't it? And yeah, I think it's actually worthwhile pointing out that it is possible to go and do this if you're just smart. If there's a little bit of hoarding of wonder kids and young talent, you see that talent that you know is going to be amazing. Even if you're not going to play them, that you buy them to flip them, which is the kind of the saying with it, isn't it? Season before that, actually overspent this year, but maybe sometimes you need to do that. And actually, was it like, yeah, so maybe some first team players here and loads of players in that like 5 to 20 million pound bracket, which is where you can get the real good youngsters that are going to develop. And I'm sure some of these have been sold on since this point for an amazing amount of money. So maybe a little bit, and then again, the year before, look, about 150, 180 million in profit. So actually, kind of, you make up for it a little bit, don't you? Massive profit the year before that. Spent more this season, 50 million pounds in the red that particular season. Massive profits the year before that. 2 million pound profit the year before that, and we're getting back to the start now. Big spenders in 2025, 26. Maybe building that team. Is that after you finish third and you're like, I'm not having this? That's rubbish. Probably is, isn't it? That season there, slight profit. First season, it even made a profit in that very first season. Only signed 3 players as well. In fact, Vitor Roque is actually there. Hermoso on a loan, and then Cossanu being your only signing in the first window is quite impressive in itself. Really enjoyed this save. Thank you very much for sharing, AO. Let's move on to our third save. Okay, next up, we have this save here, courtesy of Manila JoJo. Thank you very much for sharing your save, my friend. And we find ourselves in France, in the Ligue 1, right there alongside our PSG friends, etc., etc. Now, this save is a little bit different, and it caught my eye because of the self-inflicted or self-imposed transfer policy that Manila JoJo has given himself here. We are at Aveyron Bayonnais, which is in the town or city of Bayonne, which is in Basque Country in southern France on the Spanish border, which is significant because that self-imposed transfer policy is to only sign Basque players. Now, I've put on here deliberately the second nationality so that we can see that all of these players, although they might be listed as either Spanish or French on here, all of them are actually have a second nationality of Basque, all except for one, which is Jose Maria Vera, which actually Manila JoJo does put in his notes here that he's crept through because he came through the youth intake, even though he's not actually Basque himself. But that'll probably be dealt with at some point, and he's actually been loaned out. He's actually a wonder kid as well, coming through the youth intake. So fair enough. He's been on a few loans as Jose Maria Vera. I think this is an incredible achievement to have got to this point here with this many. Lots of these are out on loan, look. This many Basque players and being as successful as you have been. It's 2041, so we are a long way into the save here. If we go to job history, though, you can see that we have won ourselves plenty of competitions over the course of the save too. Winning the lower leagues, making the way up to Ligue 1, first of all in the 27-28 season. From there, 6th, 6th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 1st. And then you might be thinking, Well, what's going on here? Was that actually just check if there's a Champions League or anything in there? There was a Champions League there as well for the first time, which is, there you go. Now, you might be thinking, there's a weird move here to Japan and then on to Brazil. At this stage, Manila JoJo does say he made the squad Basque only within 3 seasons, which is very impressive in itself. He did say he left for Hiroshima and then Atletico Paranense in between, as he wanted to win the Champions League in all continents in the save. That didn't quite... I mean, he had to come back because he checked and Avron Bayonne had gone into financial trouble because of his success and not being very good. So he had to come back and rescue them. So he's come back and since then won the league in every season. He does say that actually in the future, I still want to go to South Africa and Mexico to complete all of the Champions League. Did you win the Champions Leagues whilst... Is the South American Recopa? I don't think so. You need the Copa Libertadores, right? In Brazil. So maybe you still need to go and win that one in there. Although, did you win it there? You did win it. Okay, so you have won that one. And I assume you must have won the Asian Champions League there. So fair enough. You did win some Champions Leagues in those other countries. We need what did you say? South Africa and Mexico to go and do those other ones. Fair enough. Brilliant save. Really like it. He does point out a couple of players here. And because it's all about the players and being Basque, etc., and making sure that you can get the best players to have that are also second nationality Basque, I feel like we should look at some of the better ones. You point out Rafael Martin as the absolute star of the save. Here he is, 25 years old. And yep, like him a lot. He's wanted at the moment by, I thought it was going to be PSG. It's Aston Villa, which is maybe a little bit of a shock. An elite attacking midfielder. Brilliant stuff from him. And if we just go to his information here, other nationality is, of course, Basque. And you other ones that you point out, you have some that have a lot of potential. You bought, oh look, you brought John Cortina, who is down here. You actually bought him, or brought him perhaps, to Atletico Paranense in Brazil, and then brought him back to Avron Bayonne after that, which I think is a nice little touch, something that I love to do. My journeyman save at the moment, I've been at Anderlecht and I've moved to Feyenoord, and I've accidentally signed about 8 players from Anderlecht to Feyenoord, so yeah, I just can't resist. I grow an affinity with the players that I have, and then I want to have them at every club I go to. So I've maybe gone a little bit overboard on that one, but I understand it. It adds to the narrative. You're creating your own world, aren't you, in your Football Manager saves? And I'm all for it. Really impressed with this save. Really like it. Thank you very much for sharing, my good friend. Let's move through to our 4th save of today's video. Our penultimate save is more of a database, and it is courtesy of Brandon. Actually, to give your full name, Monster 8 the Pilot is your name on here, so I'll give you your proper name there. I assume it's Brandon because of the save file. Monster 8 the Pilot has created this beast of a database. It is called the Great American Premier League, and some people have way too much time on their hands, and I feel like that might be the case in this one. Let's read what he says about it, because I think the amount of work that's gone into it and just how much fun this could be, especially for maybe the American audience to go and play a save like this, then it's worth showcasing and sharing with you guys. He says, not so much of a save I'm playing, it's a save I'm creating. This is a database I created called the Great American Premier League. It is a 16-tier pyramid featuring 672 teams from the US and Canada, cup competitions, super cups, awards, you name it. I've created stadiums for every team to play in, added budgets, club stats, youth coaching, and I'm currently working on support objectives and some affiliate clubs with other nations. So we have the Premier League here, look. If we scroll through, the leagues just keep on going. We've got the Great American AA League and the Great American League A and the North American B League and the North American B League B2 and the North American B2 and the North American B3. It goes on and on and on. 16 tiers of American leagues with teams like Solar and Queensborough. I could go through these and say them all in an American accent, and I'm not going to, because that might be a hate crime if I was to really, really go for that. But I think this is brilliant. I think it's great. I don't know if I could get my head around it. MLS itself is way too complicated. I've tried. I really love the idea of doing it, but it takes on so many turns, and like the registrations and the quota and the players and it's a lot. It's a lot. If you've ever played an MLS save, let me know how you found it in the comments down below. Maybe one day we'll do an MLS video. I'm not sure. Maybe one day. But yeah, it keeps on going. Look, all the way through 16 levels. And yeah, I think we just needed to showcase it based on that. You've added the ability, he says, to add your own kit. So every team, I could go on about things I've added. I'm trying to create a database that is as immersive as possible and feels like a world that's alive, which goes back to, I mentioned it in one of the previous saves we looked at in today's video. It's all about creating that own world of yours and the narrative around everything. That's when Football Manager, for me, is at its very best. It's not about creating the thing that can win you the thing fastest. It's about what are the storylines that are happening in your save. And if you need to go and create an entire world and a whole database to make that happen, then go for it, because this is a game. It's a single player game, and that's the way you play these things. So I'm all for it. He also says he's put 200 hours into the editor creating this monstrosity. It's not perfect. Tweaks do need to be made. League balancing being the main issue, but I think it's fun when testing. And ultimately, I hope whoever plays has fun with it as well. Now, I would like, actually, I might try and reach out to Monster 8 the Pilot and try and find a link for this, because I feel like some of you may want to go and actually play it. What I will do is I'll reach out, and if there is a link that I managed to find, I'll pop it in that comment that I put at the inside this video with the comment section of today's video as well. Thank you very much for sharing. Good luck with finishing it off, and I hope you enjoy finally getting to play it. Let's go through to our final save for today's video. And last but not least for today's video, we are here in Ryan's save. Ryan is doing a Build a Nation save with Northern Ireland, and you might be thinking, hang on a minute, that looks like a Manchester United team. That's because right now it is. There's something really funny that happened in this save, which is why I've chosen to share it with you. The aim of this save was for Ryan, who is actually born in England, which is interesting with the Northern Ireland thing. I expected you to be Northern Irish. Actually, I do think I know. It's because your dad is from Northern Ireland, right? He did start off as the Northern Ireland manager. If we go to his job history here, the funny thing that happened is he was sacked. Northern Ireland sacked him. So now he's ended up going from Coleraine, also now to finally at the moment being Manchester United manager. Because do you know what? You have to keep the save going, don't you? This is your world. Even though the aim of the save was to try and win Northern Ireland a World Cup, he's had to make amends to his plan. Maybe one day he'll go back there and win it with them, because I want to show you this as well. They've decided that Ruud van Nistelrooy is a much better choice as their manager and not Ryan, because after, go to managers here, look, after 12 years and 42 days in charge, Ryan was sacked. He explains it. He was sacked after losing to the Netherlands in the European Championships round of 16, even though the Netherlands went on to win it in that competition. He didn't win the cup. He didn't win anything in his time at Northern Ireland. However, I think the fact that if we go to landmarks on competitions, actually on the Northern Ireland page here, just a note to mention as well, the way that he set the save up is to give max youth rating to Northern Ireland. He's given all of their top sides a bit of money, £100 million each, and really good facilities, trying to get those brilliant new gens to come through at Northern Ireland. So far, the save is not complete yet. He's got to a World Cup final in 2034 and lost to Italy. Like, imagine getting sacked after getting Northern Ireland to a World Cup final. Lost 4-2. I can't see that one on there, but Italy were the winners in that one. And then the other competitions, I think there's a good way you can actually see this on here. If I go to the World Cup, they've only qualified for that particular one and got to the final. European Championships, they've lost to Wales, which was before actually this started here. And we've lost to the Netherlands twice, in 2032 and 2036, both in the same round as well, which is what ended up getting him sacked and replaced by Ruud van Nistelrooy, which I just think is a wild choice as a manager, Northern Ireland. I'm almost always all here for it, to be honest. Before, other things to mention about the save, though, which I think that's just it for me. It's just the fact that he's Northern Ireland and got sacked and then had to try and kind of change it up from there. If I go to Ryan's history, he did also go to Coleraine, as we saw before, which is where his dad is from, where he did manage to go and win some things. He won the Northern Irish League in this one. In the second season, he won it too. Third season, look, he did also, fourth season, look, he did go and win the Champions League. So, to be fair, that's quite impressive. We go to landmarks, competitions on here, Champions League. There's a few rounds there. Lifted the Champions League after beating Chelsea on penalties in 2036. Can I go and see 2036? In fact, it was last season. We can go and see. 2036 final here. There it is. Look, penalties win. I might be able to see this actually. Yeah, a penalties win over Chelsea with Coleraine. Oh, it was tight as well. That is a nervy affair. 0.83 XG to win a Champions League. There's the Chelsea team. Pitchford. That's not how you say his name. Pitchford up front there. I did also notice, I think it's maybe something we should point out too, there are a couple of Northern Irish players here playing for Manchester United where you're currently at. Gary Donaghy and Daryl Cockcroft both look really, really good. Gary Donaghy especially is that is outrageous, isn't it? There's obviously the youth rating is working, being set to 200. You're going to get some great players through. This Northern Irish team, I imagine, under Ruud van Nistelrooy is quite good right now. If we just go to general, can I see just... No, I don't think I can. I mean, let's look at the values. There's a few really good players on here. 211 million. Richard Downey, who plays for Liverpool. Also quite good. I think it did mention, actually, it was Healy. Mark Healy got the golden boot in the World Cup because he scored so many headers with this 18 jumping reach and 6'4". So he's got 40 goals in 85 games from centre-back for Northern Ireland, which I think is wild in itself. Is he the top? I wonder, actually, who is the top goal scorer? I'm sure one of those new gens has got it there. Love the save. Love the fact that you got sacked. It just makes it fun, doesn't it? You created your own story and things. If you have a really good story and you're watching this thinking, my story is worth sharing, please do check the link in the pinned comment of today's video and share it with me, because I'm just going through them. I think there's like 65 different saves to look at the moment. Obviously, I can't share all of them. I'm trying to pick out ones that have little quirks and interesting facts, but let's keep making these videos because they're fun to make. I love making them. You guys seem to enjoy them. And it's just great to jump into the weird and wonderful worlds of your FM saves. So check that link. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're still here and you're still watching. And thank you very much for doing so. Like the video, but most importantly, have a lovely rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.